Well, today's the day. After years waiting, Scream 7 has finally released. I just got out of seeing it, and I just want to ask you guys one thing.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey, what's up everybody? Nick here, and tonight I want to give you guys my spoiler-free review for Scream 7. So, if you guys have not seen the movie, do not worry. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm going to be super vague in talking about certain aspects of this movie because I want you guys to go see it. Now, I feel like I have to get the elephant in the room out of the way first. There are a lot of people review bombing this movie, simply because they don't want it to do well. There are people that admittedly have not seen it that are just putting reviews on Letterboxd and Rotten Tomatoes, giving it a half star and saying, well, you know what they're saying. So if you found yourself running across those reviews and you were worried about this film, don't be. I'm here to tell you guys, this is not a bottom tier Scream film. That's not to say there aren't issues with it, but I really enjoyed this movie. And I just want to give a shout out to all these theater chains doing cool things for the fans that went and saw it tonight. Obviously, you got this great poster, which is my favorite Scream poster since like probably Scream 3. It's incredible. I got myself the Ghostface cup, obviously, as you guys heard, little Ghostface there at the beginning. And I got the popcorn tin, which guess what? Still has popcorn in it. Yay. Alright, so a basic plot synopsis for this movie is that Sidney Prescott and her husband Mark are married. They have multiple kids, one of them 17-year-old Tatum, who is a secondary character in this film. She gets a lot to do. They own a coffee shop in a small town in Indiana. Ghostface shows up, and guess what? Sidney Prescott is to blame yet again for one reason or another. That's basically the plot. I'm not giving you anything more because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. Now, normally I like to get the negatives out of the way first if I really enjoyed a movie, but I'm not going to do that because while I did have negatives, I really enjoyed this movie, and I just want to tell all of you guys that might have been worried about it to calm down and give you my positives first and foremost. And the first one is Neve Campbell. She gives a phenomenal performance in this movie. She shows her range as an actress. She is genuinely great here. I love this mother-daughter relationship. Neve sells this so well. I really dug where Sidney was in her life, and I love that they did not go the Laurie Strode from 2018 route. It was genuinely so refreshing to see. But Neve Campbell reminds everybody just who she is. She is Sidney fucking Prescott, the greatest final girl in horror history. The rest of the cast here is honestly really good too. I loved Courtney Cox in this movie. This genuinely might be her best performance as Gale. I loved Chad and Mindy. Yes, you can tell that this was probably a rewrite, though they were in the original plans for Scream 7 and they had to find a way to work them into here, but I felt like it worked and I felt like they were their normal charming selves. And I've got to a point now where I'm like, you know what? I want to see Chad and Mindy every time we get a Scream movie. Isabel May was okay. I didn't really buy her as the angsty teenager, but once she had to find her inner Sidney, I really think she delivered. And you could see, oh yeah, this is the daughter of Sidney Prescott. So I thought in the back half of this movie, she really delivered. I honestly really liked Joel McHale as Mark. I thought he was kind of badass and like funny, but not what a lot of people were expecting. A lot of people were like, oh, it's Joel McHale. He's just going to be a walking punchline. No, he's actually pretty straightforward and serious in this movie and does a pretty damn good job at it. Overall, I think the cast is really, really good. I liked Anna Camp. I liked all of the teenage characters, mostly. Like, there wasn't anybody here where I was like, oh God, what are they doing? Next positive with this movie, and to some people this might be a negative, is the nostalgia. I feel like they play off of all of the beats that a Scream fan would want to see. I'm talking about a Scream fan. Not a 2022 on Scream fan. No, I'm talking about people that grew up on that original trilogy. Even from the opening, with the title card, you are transported back to a movie that looks and feels like those first three movies. And I feel like largely this movie delivers. This feels like a Scream 4 in a lot of ways. And I love that. I also don't think Ghostface is too overpowered here. As much as I loved some of the Ghostface stuff in 5 and 6, I feel like they toned that down a little bit here to where you could believe that this was just a person behind a mask and in a robe. This wasn't some tank. Now, again, loved Scream 6, but it was nice to go back to it just looking and feeling like a normal person. It makes this seem more believable. Now, that being said, I think there's some great kills here. Like, genuinely awesome stuff. There is one that is there's two that are going to be fan favorites, and one of them's not even a Ghostface kill. My entire theater, at a certain kill was laughing out loud and applauding. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It was awesome to see. If you've seen the movie, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's just say lots of bullets, okay? But it was a great kill. There's also another kill that happens in a bar that is genuinely going to be one that's top tier in the franchise. It just is. So I know Kevin Williamson and Neve Campbell had said those movies were too gory, we want to tone it back. There's a fair amount of gore here and some inventive kills, so I don't know. I think they changed their minds on that. Another thing I loved about this movie is it really looks and feels like a fall movie. I think this is going to be something that people can watch every Halloween season, and I love that. They cribbed off of Halloween in a way that did not feel like it was ripping it off. It felt like an homage in a lot of ways, while also treading their own ground. I genuinely don't understand some of the complaints I've heard about this movie of going like, oh, it's so familiar, it's this and it's that. Dude, it's Scream. There's a formula to these movies. If you don't like them at this point, you're never going to like them. But if you're a Scream fan and you've come to know and appreciate the formula, I think you're going to dig the movie. Furthermore, they actually do some interesting stuff here that makes you think for a second like, oh, maybe? Oh, that's a little different. I've got to shout out Marco Beltrami's score because this finally felt like a Scream film again in the audio department. Like, the sound design was incredible and that score is to die for. Marco Beltrami needs to score every freaking Scream movie from now until the end of time. I don't care. If he dies, reincarnate him, bring him back, and have him score Scream 27, because this is what I expect from a Scream movie in terms of the composition of the music. It sounds great. The movie opens with Sidney's lament, and you're just like, yes, I'm back in this world. The last real positive that I want to talk about with this movie is Kevin Williamson. I mean, he really showed he's a director, man. Like, he's not just a writer that has given us some of the greatest horror films of the last 20 to 30 years. He is a great director, too. He was doing things that, no offense to Radio Silence, because I love Scream 6, that I just don't think they were capable of doing, personally. He was able to craft suspense. He was able to really make Ghostface, at times, come across as ghostly. Really playing with the sets. I thought it created good tension at times. Like, there was a lot of reaction for some of these jump scares in the theater, and there's nothing wrong with jump scares if they're effective, if they're crafted well. And I think Williamson did a really good job here. Clearly, this guy has a love and an understanding for this franchise because he birthed the damn thing, and it shows. He was just great. Now, I only have really two real negatives here, and I'm not going to get into spoilers, so I will just say this. One of them, I think that an aspect of bringing back some of these characters was cool, but at times I don't know if it was handled entirely seamlessly. There were times where I thought it was great, and then there was times where I was like, I don't know about that. That seems a little rough. Without getting into spoilers, which I will in a later video, I was mixed on that. And then the real negative that I had was the third act. Not that it's not fun, because it is super fun, and you get a performance from Ghostface that is really over the top, and I really dug that. However, I just feel like we've gotten to a point, and it's been this way for years now with Scream, where these reveals aren't really all that surprising anymore. You can kind of see it coming, and even if you don't see it coming, the motive in and of itself is just kind of lame. I really did not like the motive at all. I felt like the motive totally fell flat. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. And it just wasn't really all that shocking. It didn't have the gravitas that it needed to. Now, I will say, when the reveal happened, there was audible like, oh, in my theater. But like me, I was just like, no, I mean, you're not really doing it for me. I don't know if this is a Guy Busick thing. I don't know what it is. But maybe with Scream 8, we get somebody else on board to help write this film, because they're just not surprising anymore. And I want these third acts to go back to feeling like a huge deal that came out of nowhere. We haven't been there in a while. So the third act is fun, but it's nothing to write home about. And furthermore, I just want to say, to end this thing off, my theater was packed, sold out. There was a line wrapped around the concession. Everybody in Scream gear. I mean, it was insane. To anybody that was hoping that this movie was going to flop, it's not going to happen. This movie is going to make a ton of money. Another Scream film is going to come very quickly. And honestly, good. I am here for Sidney Prescott. I am here for Neve Campbell. She is as important to this franchise as Ghostface is, if not more so, because she is the anchor. She is Scream. The fact that I've heard so many people over the last few months argue that and try to say she's not is wild to me. Genuinely wild. After the performance she gave here, I just want to say to all of those people that claim that we need to move on from Sidney Prescott, that the franchise has outgrown her and that she's past her prime. Fuck you. Look, guys, I really enjoyed Scream 7. The third act is a big ding for me, so I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 stars. I had fun with the third act, but I wasn't surprised, and I'm sick and tired of not having a third act that genuinely comes out of left field. Aside from that, if you love Ghostface, if you love Sidney Prescott, if you love Beltrami, if you love Williamson, I think you're really going to dig this movie. The best way I can put it is this. Scream 7 is what Scream 5 should have been. Sidney Prescott's movie, and she delivers.